Let's continue our series of breaking down all of the position groups and every single archetype, trying to figure out which one is better so y'all know, have an idea what to recruit. Today we have receivers. I ain't gonna lie, this is a long video for a reason, man. Receivers are very interesting. And just one thing I'll say here early is like, it almost seemed like some of these archetypes was not fully thought out. Just because, for example, some archetypes, you have your set of abilities for every single receiving archetype. Some archetypes will literally never get the ability that's assigned in that category because they cannot upgrade that ability, and you'll see that multiple times throughout this video. I hope that makes sense. And because it's 6 different receiving archetypes, it takes a while to break down every single archetype, their abilities, everything. It just takes a while, but this video has a lot of information, We have already dropped 2 videos on this series, the quarterbacks and the defensive linemen. If you're watching this, we may have other archetypes. They're all inside of one playlist on this channel, so go check them out. Also, just let me know what y'all want to see next. Cornerbacks, linebackers, whatever. We'll drop it tomorrow. If y'all enjoy the content, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also, check out the Twitch, going crazy. Appreciate y'all, boys. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, let's talk about the receivers. And honestly, this is probably the toughest one to break down. It is so many different options here, man. We have 6 different archetypes for receivers. And after doing this whole evaluation, I think 6 is probably a little bit too many. Some of them are not as useful as the others. The hybrid safety, I keep bringing it up. Because last year, the hybrid safety was literally a guy that didn't really develop and probably shouldn't have been in the game, or they should have fixed it. And we have a version of that for every single position is what I'm learning. And we have a version for that for wide receiver. We'll get into that in a second. So it's probably going to be a longer video. We're going to break every single archetype down. And first, this is a save file where we're about 5 to 6 years in the future. So every single player here is AI generated. And the reason we do this, so all these archetypes are just able to simulate and they progress how they progress, and we're able to see, okay, well, this archetype progressed better than this one. Rather, if we just use the real life roster, those are real life players. So whatever archetype they are, they're based off their real life stats. So that's why we're doing the couple people was confused in the last couple videos. That's why we simulate years and just don't look at the standard, the stock roster here, man. So let's look. First of all, similar to the quarterback episode where we had the best 2 quarterbacks in the league, we just look, are the same exact on the same exact team, Texas Tech, man. And then you look at receiver, the best 3 receivers in the league, all on Ohio State. And now I'm not gonna say this is unrealistic because I guess it's possible they all could be on the field at the same time. But it's interesting. I'm guessing Ohio State Coach Bill just, they produce very good receivers. So I'm guessing their Coach Bill just brings in one of the best receivers and also probably develop the receivers the best. So this is probably why you see some stuff like this. In real life, will the 3 best receivers all be on one team? Maybe. But other than that, let's look at archetypes. So the best 2 receivers in the league, both 99 overall, elusive route runner and speedster. And let's just go through. So you see a lot of speedsters up here as, the highest overall receivers. I like to look at that overall in the top right corner because that's going to be the overall before the tactician boost. And you kind of notice in a trend. These top, 7 to 10 receivers are all speedsters and elusive route runners, man. Then you get a contested specialist, and then you get into some of the other archetypes. Physical route runner, you got the Gadget. You also get another elusive. Then you finally get your first route receiver or route artist, and then you kind of keep going through. You get a contested specialist also down here. Just going through, and we'll break every single one of these positions down or archetypes down. Then you get your first gritty possession down here. He's a 91 overall. And, you got your gadgets. So just off that initial screen right there, that tells me, in my opinion, that speedsters and elusive route runner are going to be guys that's getting higher overall more consistently. Obviously, it's always going to be a situation where it might be another guy that break through and gets to 99 overall, but that's what that tells me. So let's start off with the speedster, and we're going to break this down. We're also going to go through abilities, man. It's going to take a while because it's a lot here. So let's start with the speedster, man. And just to be honest, I like to give y'all the information as soon as the video starts. I think this is going to be the best receiving archetype in the game. and I'll tell y'all why here, man. So rating wise, they're going to come in the fastest, obviously. Their whole archetype is centered around speed. The good part is about this game, you could manually upgrade players. So other receivers can also get 99 speed, high 90 speed. And you do see it in this, world right here where we have route runners with 90 plus or 98 speed, 99 speed. So that's the good part. Now, but more consistently, these guys are going to come in faster, and that, I believe, leads to them being higher in overall because speed is going to be the most expensive category for any player to upgrade, any receiver to upgrade. For this guy, it costs 15, and his quickness is nowhere near maxed out. Could get a lot better. It got 3 more caps before he's maxed out. Now, hands only cost 5. Also, kind of on the cheaper end, especially when you consider it's damn near maxed out. He has phenomenal hands already. 90 hands, 90 catching traffic. Very good. Then the route running, also elite. It costs 7, which is, you'll see, might be a tad bit expensive when you compare it to the other archetypes, especially some of the route running archetypes. It'll be a little bit cheaper. But 7 is not... It's not horrible, pretty much, man. Elusiveness is going to be 6. This is going to be like your juke move, your change of direction. Not bad. Also, power is going to be always expensive. But we don't really care about power for a receiver because we don't really care if they're strong. Trucking, cool, but we don't really need the strength. That could help out with blocking a little bit. And then your IQ, your awareness, cost 3 is low on this guy. And then the abilities. I think this is what sets the speedster receivers apart. I think they got the best abilities also with the best overall attributes, man. I got a bunch of notes here, and one of the main notes I wrote for the speedster receiver, all around, all around good. Great speed or the best speed in the game, and then as you see, also good catching, good route running, and then maybe the best abilities in the game, man. So let's move the face cam to the other side so y'all able to see the full list of abilities here. So he only has 2 of them open, unlocked, but he's young. I believe he's on like a sophomore, maybe a junior. So he could get better. So he's gonna get sidestep. All of these archetypes will have the same exact abilities, or like each archetype will have this same set. So all speedsters, these are the abilities they have, and we'll go through for the other archetypes. So sidestep is a juke move ability, solid ability, especially when you play him in the slot, get on the ball quickly, and he could just, go crazy with that juke move. Double move, double dip, that ability is, where we kind of get into the category of, I don't want to say useless, but, double moves traditionally don't work that well in this game. And, yeah, I'm just not a double move guy, man. I usually don't have enough time to run the double move. So ability is not that useful, but take off has been one of the best abilities in the game since, last year. This might be the best receiving ability in some people category, man. It's at least top 5. So you do get takeoff, and this is going to be the only receiver archetype that get takeoff. And then you get recoup, ability a bunch of archetypes get, just for fatigue, not that big of a deal. Then you also get shifty, better change of direction. This is how you're able to, this is very useful, especially online, man. This is a very useful online ability, but also useful offline, man. So shifty is probably another, maybe top 5, top 7 ability in the game. People love this ability. So you get 2 elite abilities for these speedster receivers. And like I said, you kind of just get the all-around archetype. Like, so you see this guy 98 speed, and we kind of already know some of his, attributes. Let's look at the next speedster. He's a 92 overall, 93 speed, a little bit lower, but you still get good catching, 94 catching, and 88 catching traffic. And then the route running is still pretty good. 98 spectacular catch, the short 84, the medium 90, and the deep 91, release 91, jumping 95. Like, these, in my opinion, are just the all-around, do-it-all type archetype, man. This guy right here, another guy, just kind of do it all. Speed is going to be a little bit lower, only 91, but the catching, elite. Like, he's a better catcher than anything. And so I personally think the speedster is going to be, your best archetype. Another guy here, 92 speed, just all around. And let's look at one last speedster before we move on to the next category, just to maybe prove to y'all why I think this is the best category. And other ones will put up a fight. Y'all see, it's not clear, other categories will put up a fight. But you got a 90 overall guy with 98 speed. Acceleration is a little bit lower, 92 on acceleration, but catching 90, 87, spectacular catch 98, and then the route running still good enough. You would think you might take a big hit on the route running for these speedster receivers, but the thing is, the route running is not that much more expensive, so they still could get elite route running. It costs $6 to upgrade, so it's just not that much more expensive compared to, if you get a guy that's slow, it costs so much for them to upgrade their speed. That's, I believe, why it takes a little bit longer for them to get higher in overall, because they're trying to upgrade that speed, and then if you're upgrading the speed, you're not upgrading something else. So I think that's why the Speedster is the best. Let's get into the second one. Also, the Speedsters, you could get multiple heights. You could get them all the way up to 6'4", and you get them like 5'11", 5'10". So Speedsters, that's one thing we also want to cover with this. Every single archetype heights will be different. Let's get into the next category, and this is going to be your elusive route running receivers, man. And we have one right here. And my notes on them, less catching, so you're sacrificing catching, and also smaller. The tallest this build that I found is 6'2", compared to other archetypes 6'6", 6'5", 6'4". So elusive route runners are going to be smaller, and they're usually going to have a little bit less speed to start off, but it could develop just like our guy right here. He's a 91 overall with a 96 speed, 97 acceleration, and you just look at his attributes. The catching, like I said, less catching is going to be a trend for these elusive route runners. 85 catch, 80 catching traffic. You got another one right here, elusive route runner. He's better, 94 overall, 94 speed, but look at the catching, 86 catching, 79 catching traffic. That's going to be consistent with all of these elusive route runners. Catching is just going to be in the worst spot, but elite route running, you're talking about 99 across the board for this guy right here, 99 release. So this is also a useful archetype. Let's look at the actual skill caps and then also how expensive it is to upgrade. So quickness costs 15, but that's going to be pretty much consistent with all of these archetypes. Speed is always going to be expensive to upgrade. Hands is 4, which is cheaper. It's on the cheaper end, but it seems like they just don't prioritize it for some reason. So if you're actually upgrading your player manually, maybe you don't max out route running, and maybe you just upgrade the hands so the hands could be, at least 90, and the route running also maybe around 90 instead of 99. But consistently, if you have it on auto, they seem not to upgrade them hands, and the hands also start off worse, but it only costs 4. The route running is maxed out, but it costs 7. For that speedster, and it wasn't maxed out, it costs 7. So these route running archetypes, it will be cheaper for them to upgrade that route running. It makes sense. That's their primary category, so it'll be cheaper for them to upgrade. And here you see it's maxed out because it's so cheap. Also, elusiveness costs 5, which is kind of on par, but you do get some break tackles, some change of direction, also some juke move. Power is actually cheap, but he's not upgrading it at all because it's all the way at the end of the category, but not that big of a deal for a receiver. And IQ is actually pretty high. It costs 5, pretty much on par, and also you could get some pass blocking. But for these guys, you cannot upgrade run blocking, which is interesting, but you can upgrade pass blocking. Not sure why that's the case. Don't really make sense. Power, I don't know why run blocking wouldn't be under here. But now look at the abilities. And the abilities for this category are solid and just not my favorite, man. Not my favorite abilities. You're looking at more of a slot receiver maybe. So you got the 360 to spin move. You got improved cut moves. Cutter also, I believe that's also a pretty good ability. The double moves, I kind of already talked about that. Not my favorite ability. Recoup, just for fatigue. And then you get the sidestep, the juke move ability. So a lot of these abilities are to help you when you have the ball in your hands and make plays. So that's why I kind of say it's the slot receiver. And like I said, double move is just not that useful. Not my favorite set of abilities. I can see you really loving these sets of abilities if you like to throw screens or quick passes. This is not a bad archetype at all, man. I'll probably say it's top 3. I'm not going to pit it 1 or 3 or 2. I said I already got Speedster 1. It's top 3. I don't know exactly yet, man. It's tough to rank all of these because all are like these top 3 to 4 archetypes are all very similar, and then the rest are going to be the rest, not maybe as good. Now let's talk about the contested specialist, and it's actually a 6'6" version of this. And is one in my recruiting class right now. He's a 4-star 6'6" receiver. If you knew anything about the 6'6" receivers last year, I would consider him damn near generational. And he's actually the only 6'6" receiver in my whole entire draft class, and he's a contested specialist. So I will always look to bring those guys in last year. And unfortunately this year, can't even scout him, can't see if he's any good. But I can only assume if you see a 6'6" receiver, they're probably pretty good. So this is going to be one of the only archetypes that provide that. And these receivers are bigger. And just because they're bigger don't always mean slower, especially since you could develop the speed this year. Now, one thing to note, the guy we have here is 6'4", but he has 95 speed. Catching is also in a solid spot. Acceleration also 95, solid spot. And then the route running, bro, amazing. Amazing, man. So that's one thing I'm figuring out about this. The route running specific archetypes might not even be all that, I don't want to say useful, when you have contested specialists also getting 99 route running across the board. You'll have speedsters getting 99 route running across the board. Now let's look at his skill caps and how expensive it is to upgrade every category. So speed 14, pretty much on par with all the other archetypes we've seen so far. Always going to be more expensive. Hands cost 6, which is a little bit more on the expensive side compared to some of the other archetypes we've seen earlier, but not bad. Nothing here is going to be horribly bad, man, when it comes to the difference between each category or each archetype. So hands cost 6, but they're in a very good spot. 90 catching traffic, 99 spectacular catch, man. And these, you'll see, man, jump balls in this game, bro, it could be very cheesy. Route running, damn near maxed out. 99 release. The only thing that's not 99 is deep route running, and it can get better. It costs 6, which is kind of on par with the speedster, a little bit more expensive than the route running receiver, as expected, man. This guy is supposed to be specialized in jump balls. Then elusiveness costs 4, but all of these ratings are pretty much a little bit lower. You do get more break tackle, so if you're into that, you do get that with this type archetype. Now power is also going to be in a better spot. You get more strength, 75 strength. So, and also you get the ability to upgrade the run block. For the previous 2 archetypes, we did not get that option. You could not upgrade your run blocking. For the speedster and also the elusive route runner, run blocking was not an option. And that's important, especially running sweeps, pitches, your receivers, you want them to get involved in the run game. So having that strength and run blocking ability here and having to be able to progress is good. Unfortunately, it's under the category that's probably, most expensive, and also that the CPU probably wouldn't upgrade, and users probably wouldn't upgrade this also, man. If I'm manually upgrading my player, I'm probably not going to upgrade power. I'm going to look to upgrade, all of the categories that matter the most for a receiver, but at least the option is here. IQ costs 5, which is going to be consistent pretty much with all these guys. Now when we get over to the physical abilities, this is the part where it's a tad bit shaky for me, man. You get the 50-50, and this is one of the only archetypes with this ability. And it's a good ability, especially with, like I said, jump balls are in a good spot or a bad spot, depends how you look at it. You could get a lot of jump balls this year compared to last year. So having this ability, especially on the 6'4", and like I said, this archetype also got 6'6" versions, could be a good ability. Now the rest of these abilities is a little bit of my issue. They got pretty much running back abilities, man. So workhorse, protection from wear and tear, and but he's a receiver. I don't know if we need this ability for a receiver. Wear and tear, it happens for a receiver, but nowhere near as frequent as a running back. So I feel like this ability is, just like I said, I feel like it's more of a running back ability, workhorse in my head. Balance, protection from hit sticks, also seem more like a running back ability. Head first, improved truck moves. Another running back ability. His trucking is only a 66, so he'll never even unlock this ability. And you'll probably notice a lot of these archetypes, tested specialists won't even have enough trucking to unlock this ability. So that's kind of an issue. But also another running back ability. And then guess what? Break downhill, break tackles at max speed. Another running back ability. So you get one very good ability. 50-50, and then the rest are more so centered around or for a running back. And he is supposed to be this bigger archetype, but I would have loved to have maybe just another useful receiver ability you know, but it is what it is. You definitely want to use this guy more like with trucking and power when you get him the ball, but they still could come in with good speed. They still could be very good. Every single archetype so far is usable. Every archetype we went over is definitely usable in this game. And obviously, we're looking at the best players in the nation. I just want to make sure I'm emphasizing, you will sacrifice speed, you know, especially early on when you're bringing these guys in. If they're not a speedster, they, like I said, the contested specialist, the elusive route runner, they can develop the speed, but it might come in like an 86 right here. Like, you got a guy like this who's a 92 overall elusive route runner, and his speed is only at an 86, you know, but they have to develop it, man. They're not going to come in with phenomenal speed. Unfortunately, he got skill caps in this place where he could never get good speed. That's maxed out. And same thing with these contested specialists. Their speed is going to come in worse. They have the chance to develop it, man. Another elusive route runner, 5'7", small guy. Speed is very bad. Catching is very bad. Like, you get one like this, I mean, this is a bad receiver to me, man. So, like I said, all of these archetypes can be useful that we went over so far, but this is why speed is the best, because you don't get this 85 speed with bad catching compared to the other receivers. You do get phenomenal route running, but damn, bro, he's 5'7", but you do get maxed out abilities here, which is useful. Now let's get into the next category, which is going to be your physical route runner, man. And same thing with the last archetype, is going to be another, you know, bigger receiver. The smallest this receiver come in at is 6'1" that I've seen. The smallest is 6'1". Same thing with the contested specialist. The smallest they get are 6'1", but also they get all the way up to 6'5" and maybe 6'6". I just haven't seen one yet. But they could also develop the speed if they have the proper skill caps, just like every single receiver in this game. Now, this one comes in 6'5", 95 speed, acceleration, agility good. Also, change of direction is going to be lower than the other categories, but you do get good catching. The catching traffic does take a hit, man. That's one thing. For these physical route runners, for some reason, the catching traffic is similar to the elusive route runners, man. These route runner receivers, just catching is going to be worse. That's kind of what you're getting here, man. Worse catching with these route runner receivers, but you're getting, should be elite route running, and you're getting that here, man. I mean, this is a phenomenal receiver. Like I said, 6'5", 95 speed with elite route running. I mean, in real life, that's super rare. That is super rare to see. Let's look at his actual skill caps and how expensive it is for him to upgrade. So quickness costs 15, super consistent, hands 5, kind of on par with the other route running receiver we went over. But here, this is why it gets weird. He could only upgrade catching. He cannot upgrade catching traffic. Like, is that not weird? I mean, to me, that seems extremely weird. That's why the catching traffic starting off in a worse spot. Like, or just it's at 83 and it can never go up because these route running receivers, for some reason, can't upgrade their catching traffic. The same thing with the elusive route runner. Look at his catching. And I should have mentioned this earlier. He cannot upgrade catching traffic. You look at his hands, it's only catching and carrying. So that's why you see these elusive route runners with bad or worse catching traffic than the other receivers, you know. Now, let's continue to look at our 6'5" guy, man. So the catching, it was, like I said, on par with the other ones. It costs 5. The route running is going to be cheap compared to, or the cheapest, I should say, because he's a route runner. And it's good. It's very good across the board. Good release. Elusiveness costs 5. He got 99 agility. Good juke move. Good break tackle. 87 break tackle. He's 6'5". And then also here for the power, you don't get the ability to upgrade the run. You cannot upgrade your run blocking at all for these guys. But he do have good strength on 74, man. And then IQ costs 4, which is kind of similar to your other guys. The abilities for this guy is going to be pretty good. So you do get downhill, which is, like I said, I would consider more of a running back ability. But with 88 break tackle, you know what your game plan is. Run through someone. Run through someone's your game plan. But you also get press pro, and I believe he has 99 release. So now if they press in, streak ball every single time. Streak every single time. And he got press pro on purple. Very good ability. Sure hands, another ability I like. But the issue is, like, why do they have this ability? Like, this actually makes no sense. So the requirement for this ability is catching traffic, and guess what? These receivers cannot upgrade their catching traffic. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's almost like it wasn't thought through. because his catching traffic is at 83, and it literally could never go up because, like I said, we look at the catching, it cannot move. It cannot move with this archetype. His catching could go up, but the ability requires catching traffic. So he'll never have short hands, and most of these elusive or physical route runners will never get that ability, even though it's on his slot. They'll never be able to unlock it. So that's a waste, but you do get the 50-50. And the unfortunate part is, same thing with the short hands. It's an ability that a lot of these guys will never be able to unlock because he also can't upgrade Spectacular Catch. When you look at the catching category, it's only catching. Spectacular Catch is not included in that. So whatever his start off is, that's all he's ever going to have. It started off at an 86. You need an 89. He'll never be able to get 50-50, even though he's 6'5" with good speed. If he could get Press Pro and 50-50, great combination. And then also improve cut moves, another ability that's pretty good, especially for his height and weight. But it's like two of these abilities for these receivers is damn near useless. So it's like I said, it just almost seemed like some of this stuff wasn't fully thought through. So that's interesting. Now let's get into your next archetype, man. And this one, just being transparent, I think this is the worst one. I think this is the worst archetype. I do think it has a play-in or like a situation where it could be useful. But the gritty possession, it's a tight end, bro. It's a tight end. These are going to be your slowest receivers in the game by far. 83 speed. He's the highest overall gritty receiver in our league at a 91 overall. And let's just find the next one, man. Let's find the next best gritty on possession. He's a 90 overall, 84 speed. Let's find a third just to compare and show you guys all of these ones will be slow. Like I said, they should be tight end. The unfortunate part is you can't really put them at tight end. You found the next one, 89 overall with 84 speed. They're slow. They're slow consistently. And it's one thing, it was like, 88 speed, but 84 speed at receiver, it's tough, man. It's tough. And you're not really getting much else. The catching is not phenomenal. 89 catch with 85 catching traffic. I mean, gritty possession, you would think he could catch the hell out the ball. At least that's how I would think. But you do get elite route running for some reason. And in my head, it should be the other way around. Elite catching, route running, solid. But what do I know? Also, acceleration, not that good. Now, the strength, this is where it gets a little bit glitchy, cheesy. You're getting some 99 strength on this gritty possession. Are they all this strong? No, but they're all fairly strong. The next best one, 92 strength. So you are getting some very good, strength and blocking ability, and the catching is not going to be that good compared to the other receivers, but you just get elite route running. I don't know. It's weird. Let's look at this guy, dive deep into him. No diddy. 6'4", 206 pounds. You would think he'll weigh like 220, 230 as he's, only got that 83 speed, but it could get better. In auto progression, they don't focus on that for these receivers. Now, it could get better. If you manually upgrading, okay, you could get this speed up, but it's so expensive. It costs 12. You got to upgrade this like 3 times to even get average speed for a receiver. To get this to 88, 89, you got to upgrade this 3 times, and that's way too many points. It's not worth it, man. Hands also, you can improve the catching, but same thing with the route running receivers. You can't improve the catching traffic, and you can't improve the spectacular catch. So you can only upgrade catching, but you can get elite route running with these receivers. And all of them we looked at, they all have very good route running, and that seems to be what the CPU prioritized in auto upgrades for these guys: route running and also elusiveness for some reason. Man. So you got damn near maxed out elusiveness. Good agility, great break tackle at a 96, change of direction, juke move. He's solid with the ball in his hands. I ain't gonna lie. He is. Break tackle at 96 is nuts, man. Maybe he need to go play fullback. I don't know. Unfortunately, you can't change his position. Power, they also prioritize that as well, man. He's supposed to be gritty possession. And look at the run blocking. This is what I said. This is where it gets cheesy. This is where it gets glitchy. 91 run blocking. So, and then also strength, 99. We already talked about that. Trucking good, like stiff form, okay. And then also your last category, IQ, 3. And you can upgrade pass blocking with this as well. But 3 is the cheapest we've seen for this category for IQ, I believe. So that's interesting. Also ball carrying vision in there. But these receivers could have a use case. If you're running, the option. this is probably your go-to receiver. And maybe this is why they're in the game because of this. If you want to run the option, or for your military schools, maybe that's why this receiver is in the game for those specific rebuilds. I feel like it's too niche to have this receiver in the game. 90% people, after seeing this video, probably will not recruit tight end like this unless you just want a blocking tight end for run plays. And this could work, especially with formation subs. Okay, this formation, I only run the ball. I'm going to put this receiver in formation subs because I'm going to run, to the right side. I want him blocking the slot, whatever. It could work. It do have a use case. But for an actual receiver, it's the worst in the game by far. And it's all blocking abilities here, man. He's supposed to be a tight end. So you get second level, improved second level blocking. But unfortunately, he could never upgrade his impact blocking. Bro, it's almost like some of this stuff wasn't thought out. He can improve his run block and his pass blocking, but he can never improve his impact blocking, so he can never get this ability. It's almost like some of this stuff wasn't thought out. Also, outside shield, he can never improve his run block finesse. It's a 48. It can never go up. Okay, so 2 abilities that's absolutely useless. And let's go ahead and throw in the third one, man. Sure hands. His catching traffic start off at an 85, which is okay, but we know it could never improve for these type of receivers. So he has 3 abilities where the category that needs to unlock this ability, he could never work on. So you just got to hope and pray his rating to start off good enough. And we know for sure, his impact blocking and run blocking would never start off high enough for them to. So these are 2 abilities he would never get. No gritty possession will, have these abilities, which is unfortunate. Now, strong grip is an ability he do have on purple, which is an okay ability. Then workhorse, we kind of already talked about that earlier. That's a wear and tear ability. I mean, this guy probably not getting the ball that much anyway. You'll probably use him more as a blocker. But I just feel like this is probably the worst abilities out of all of them. Man. And if he could get these top 2 or these, 3, maybe it changes. But this is the worst archetype in the game. It do have a use case. I ain't gonna lie. It do have a use case. But altogether, this is not a receiver. Put this at tight end, very good. Very elite. Not good at receiver. Next, let's talk Gadget, man. And Gadget receiver is interesting. They could come in with good speed, but usually they won't, not initially. Just like all the other archetypes, but speedster, you got to develop the speed more times than not. So 95 speed on this guy, acceleration solid, agility solid, strength also not bad compared to some of these other receivers. Catching could be very good, 90, 88, but it could also get better. Spectacular catch, okay, not amazing. The route running, solid. But the thing to note, all of the receivers have solid route running pretty much, man. All of these receivers have solid route running damn near. And jumping solid. The thing is, but also break tackle is going to be good for these Gadget guys if you're into that. Break tackle, trucking, they also have that pretty well compared to some of the other archetypes. And the thing is about the Gadget receiver is like they come in, when you scout them, you can see their throw power. They could also play quarterback, but unfortunately you can't change positions. So, they're a Gadget player. They're supposed to be in the Gadget position, which is new this year. Now, his speed costs 15, on par with every single guy. Now, catching, you could actually upgrade the catching traffic and the spectacular catch, so that's good. You could upgrade all of these categories, and carrying. You could upgrade carrying. These guys could play running back. Unfortunately, you can't move guys to running back this year because it messes up the whole skill caps. So that's bad, but route running could also upgrade a lot. It could get better. Only costs 5 for both of these categories. That's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty damn cheap. That's not horrible. That's workable. Looseness costing 5, also workable. And it leads to him having 91 break tackle. Like the ball in his hands, he's actually kind of deadly. I ain't gonna lie. Ball in his hands, he's very good. He's elite. Like this is a receiver you could go out there and actually play, have fun with, have a good time. Because he's a fun receiver. Put him in the slot, put him in the Gadget. Also, power is in a good spot. Strength, good trucking, like a little bit of a do-it-all. But one thing to note, you cannot upgrade the run blocking. For some reason, you cannot upgrade the pass blocking. I don't get that. Why give us the pass blocking instead of the run blocking? But it costs 4 for the IQ, and the power costs 6. This is the cheapest power we've seen out of all the guys. The power is very cheap for these gadget receivers for some reason. So that's one thing to note, man. Now when you get into the abilities, it get a little bit weird. Man. A little bit weird. So you get sidestep, good ability. Juke moves, like I said, this is a good player to have with the ball in his hands. Also shifty, like I said, another probably top 5 ability. Now you get dot. Come on, man. You get a quarterback ability, and it's not useful for receivers at all. But if you play him at quarterback, play him in the gadget, whatever, this could be ability. Unfortunately, the deep throw accuracy will never upgrade at receiver. It just won't. It will not upgrade. You need an 85 deep throw accuracy to get this ability on bronze. It's currently at a 71. So this is another ability that he would never get unless you move him over to quarterback. So damn near another useless ability. Then cutter, another good ability with the ball in your hands. We'll take that. We like this ability. That's good. So you got 3 good abilities, and then you got extender, another ability for, a quarterback where you get the break sack. But unfortunately, you can never upgrade this ability. At least it starts off on bronze for this guy, but you can't upgrade your break sack unless you move him to quarterback. So that's one thing to note. You have 3 good abilities, though. 3 very useful abilities with the ball in your hands. So I think the gadget receiver is interesting. Like I said, probably wouldn't be my top choice, but if you want to go at the gadget receivers because you like the way they look with the ball in their hands, I'm not mad at you. This one comes in fast. The guy right below him comes in a lot slower and a lot smaller. You go from 6'3", 95 speed to 5'9", 88 speed. Big difference, ain't it? But now you're getting better attributes, better catching, better, a little bit better spectacular catch. So some things are in a better spot. But gadget receivers definitely could be useful, but like I said, I don't think they're top 2. They're probably not my top 2. Now, the last one. First of all, if y'all made it this far in the video, drop a like. Let me know how y'all feel, man. I appreciate y'all for watching this far. This is a long video, but the route running artist. So this is the last one here, and it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I think my issue with these route running receivers, especially this one, he's supposed to be the best route runner in the game. And just looking at a couple of these route artist stats, looking at the specific route running, short 93, medium 97, deep 86. Okay. But then you got, guys like this, gritty possession with 99, 99, 91. It's like it almost makes it seem like the route artist is not the best route running receiver. Like you got another one right here, 84 short, 95 medium, deep 83. It's like, damn. It's like in my head, this should be the best route running receiver in the game by far, but it's consistently not. But you do get a dog like this with actually elite route running, and then you scroll up a couple more and you see some guys that speedsters with just as good as route running. I just think the route running receiver is probably just not going to be my go-to. I'd rather get a speedster and have him develop route running, but it's going to be someone go-to here. So let's look at this guy. He's a 91 overall. All the players we looked at, I've been trying to look at from like 90 to 91, 92 overall. So let's look at this guy right here, man. So he got 88 speed. The strength is going to be okay. Acceleration, nothing to write home about. Catching, solid, 89, 91. Spectacular, 91. Route running, solid, good. Or elite, I should say. It's elite route running. But the thing to note about these route artist receivers, what I have in my notes, shortest. These will be your shortest receivers, man. They come in as small as 5'6". They're the short kings out here at receiver, but they could be useful. And they also sometimes develop elite speed. Let's look at our first guy. So speed costs 13 to upgrade, but it just starts off in a worse spot. So you could get it to 99, but it's going to start lower than a lot of other archetypes. Here, hands cost 5, but the good thing is you can upgrade hands, catching traffic, and spectacular catch. With the other route running receivers, you cannot do that. So you do get that benefit with the route artist to upgrading catching traffic and spectacular catch this time. Route running costs 5 to upgrade, which is also on the cheaper end, and obviously it can be elite. Elusiveness costs 7, which feels a little bit more expensive than the other guys, but he do have some solid break tackle. Also juke move, spin move, okay. Change of direction, okay. Nothing crazy. Power costs 12. but he do have 70 strength as he upgraded that. Not horrible, pretty solid for a smaller receiver. And then also awareness costs 4, IQ costs 4, but you cannot upgrade your blocking, run, or pass for these receivers. So look at abilities. I think abilities are solid for these guys, is what I put in my notes. You got cutter, which is a solid, pretty good ability. Layout, which is the only ability, or this is the only archetype that gets this ability. This improves diving catches. And but the issue is you need spectacular catch. And usually these route running artists don't have particularly high spectacular catch. At least they can upgrade it. So he could get this ability at some point. But I think it's interesting to see the route artists with layout. I just think that's interesting. They're the smallest. I don't know. I just think maybe another archetype will have it as well. But you also get recoup, which is, you know, is what it is. Not a great ability. And then also you get double dip, improve double moves. Another ability I don't love, just because, like I said earlier, man, I feel like route double moves are just not that impressive in this game. I try not to run them. And then also you get sure hands. This is a solid ability. Improves standard catching, and it requires catching traffic, which actually can upgrade for this route artist. So I would say solid abilities. Definitely nothing to write home about, man. Where will I rank this? Definitely not within my top 3, top 2. It's tough, man. It's tough. I think a lot of these receivers play a role. Definitely play a role. I think for me, the clear best is Speedster. And then however you want to do the rest of the order, it's up to you. I'm going Speedster, and, you know, all the other archetypes I said, they'll play a role at some point. I also wanted to do tight ends in this video. It was going to take too damn long. I ain't going to lie. It was going to take too long to do tight ends and wide receivers. But y'all got to let me know what y'all want next, man. I'm thinking about moving over to the defense side of the ball and doing one of those groups. But y'all let me know if y'all want tight ends, O-line, corners, linebackers. That's what we have left. We be sure to drop it. If y'all enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. It took a long time to make this one, but I appreciate y'all. We on to the next one.